Listen, sometimes the hardest blessing you'll ever get is a goodbye you didn't ask for. We keep trying to drag everybody into a future that's not built for them. You pray for growth, but you want to keep the same seats filled. Baby, you can't take first class faith with standby relationships. Sometimes you got to lose people to find yourself. I learned this the hard way. Not everybody who starts with you is assigned to finish with you. Some folks are seasonal. They were there to teach you a lesson, not to be your lifelong address. But we confuse history with destiny. We hold on because we shared a laugh, a struggle, a memory. Meanwhile, God is whispering, I can't bless the new while you're clinging to the old. You're asking for peace while keeping a subscription to chaos. Cancel it. Let me tell you what happens when you let go. Right, your vision gets clear. Noise dies down. You stop explaining your dream to people who don't even like to dream. You start hearing your own voice again, that voice that says, you are built for more. And yeah, it'll hurt. You'll miss M. You'll scroll old photos. You'll rehearse old conversations. But pain ain't always punishment. Sometimes it's the alarm clock that wakes you up to purpose. Not everyone is meant to finish the journey with you, and the sooner you make peace with that, the lighter your feet will feel. We treat relationships like lifetime warranties when some of them were only day passes. There are folks who are perfect for who you used to be. Your habits, your pace, your vision at that stage. But that doesn't mean they're equipped for who you're becoming. Growth is an elevator, it moves. And sometimes, when the doors open, you gotta step out, even if your favorite people stay on the ride. That ain't betrayal. That's obedience to your future. I had to learn that loyalty doesn't mean carrying everybody across the finish line. Loyalty means telling the truth. I love you, but I can't stay the same to keep you comfortable. Some people only like the small version of you, the one who doesn't challenge their excuses. The moment you start waking up earlier, praying stronger, planning bigger, they get itchy. They'll call you changed, like it's an insult. Baby, that's the point. You prayed for better, remember. Better requires different. Different requires distance from what drags you back. Understand this, people come with assignments. Some are there to teach you courage, some to teach you boundaries, some to teach you what love is not. When the lesson ends, holding on turns the blessing into a burden. You'll feel it. Conversations that leave you empty, jokes that cut deeper than they should, invitations that always cost your peace. That's your spirit saying, the season is over. Hear it. Don't wait for a disaster to do what discernment already told you. Letting someone go doesn't make them the villain and you the hero. It makes both of you human. You can honor the memory without hosting the mess. Wish them well and release them to the path that fits their calling. You don't have to make speeches or burn bridges. Quiet boundaries are powerful. Love people, but love your assignment enough to keep walking. Destiny has a schedule. You can't keep missing flights because you're waiting in the lobby for people who never plan to board. And here's the beautiful part. When you step into the lane God carved for you, the right people meet you there. You won't have to audition for their approval or shrink to make them comfortable. They'll clap when you win and pray when you're weak. They'll correct you without crushing you. That's alignment. That's family, by blood or by choice. You can't find that crowd if you're stuck hosting the old one. So take a breath and look at your life with honest eyes. Who adds peace? Who brings confusion? Who waters your faith and who keeps you thirsty? Start adjusting access accordingly. You're not abandoning people, you're honoring purpose. And when the old voices try to guilt you back, remember this truth: not everyone is meant to finish the journey with you. Thank them for their chapter, turn the page, and keep moving toward the life that fits the person you're becoming. Sometimes the very people you think you need are the ones standing in the way of your breakthrough. I know that sounds hard, but it's the truth. See, comfort isn't always your friend. It can be your cage. You might be surrounded by folks who've gotten comfortable with your potential being on pause. They like you predictable, doing the same thing, talking the same way, never reaching higher than what they can handle. But if you stay in that circle too long, you'll start believing their limits are your limits. You got to recognize when the conversation around you no longer matches the dream inside you. If every time you share an idea, they laugh, change the subject, or tell you it can't be done, that's not support. That's sabotage in disguise. And here's the thing, sometimes it ain't even intentional. Some people can't see your future because they're still staring at their past. They can't imagine you flying because they've never seen anyone in their family build wings. But just because they can't see it doesn't mean God didn't show it to you. One of the hardest lessons I had to learn is that permission and approval don't always come from the people you love most. You might have to walk into a season where you feel misunderstood, where people you thought would cheer for you are silent and strangers clap louder than your friends. It hurts, but it's necessary. Growth requires you to choose the calling over the crowd. And here's a secret: when you distance yourself from the wrong people, you make room for the right ones. God will place mentors, friends, even business partners in your path who speak the same language as your purpose. You'll notice the difference. These people don't just ask about what you're doing, they ask how they can help you get there. They don't make you feel guilty for working late or skipping the party. They understand sacrifice because they've made it themselves. So stop holding on to connections out of nostalgia. You can love someone and still admit they're not healthy for your future. You can appreciate their role in your past without letting them anchor your present. Sometimes losing people isn't a tragedy. It's the divine clearance sale that makes space for what's next. And when that happens, you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain yourself into exhaustion. You just keep moving, trusting that whoever belongs in your story will meet you in the next chapter. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. That means every no you say to what drains you is a yes to the future you've been praying for. People think love means unlimited access. Call me anytime, borrow my peace, rearrange my plans. But love without limits turns into resentment. You can't pour from a cup you keep letting folks poke holes in. Respect starts with how you treat yourself, and your boundaries are the rules you write for your own soul. What I'll allow, what I won't, how I'll be spoken to, and what it costs to get my time. When you don't set those rules, life sets them for you. And life ain't always kind. Let me tell you something I learned the rough way. If you teach people that your time doesn't matter, they'll believe you. If you always answer on the first ring, always fix what they broke, always show up for chaos like it's your job, they'll start paying you in guilt instead of gratitude. Boundaries flip that script. They say, I'm available after I honor my priorities. I'm generous without being gullible. I'll help, but I won't be held hostage. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. Givers need limits because takers rarely do. The first time you draw a line, folks who benefited from your lack of lines will call you selfish. Let them talk. A locked door sounds loud to somebody who is used to walking in unannounced. Your job isn't to soften your standards so nobody's feelings get bruised. Your job is to protect the purpose God trusted you with. Boundaries don't push away the right people. They filter out the wrong ones. The right ones will say, I get it. What time works for you? The wrong ones will say, wow, you changed. Baby, that's the point. Boundaries also mean telling yourself the truth. You can't blame people for overstepping when you keep erasing the line. If your peace matters, put it on the calendar. If your health matters, protect your sleep like an appointment with your destiny. If your dream matters, stop negotiating it with every distraction that knocks. You don't need 1,000 rules, just a few that you honor every day. Answer after you've prayed. Commit after you've counted the cost. Rest before you're wrecked. Here's the miracle that happens when you stand on your boundaries. Your world gets quieter and your voice gets clearer. You stop living on apology tours. You start showing up with energy instead of excuses. And people start treating you the way you've trained them to. Because that's what boundaries do. They train the world how to value you. The strongest, I love you, you can give anyone is, I'll be my best me when I'm with you. And the only way to be your best is to guard the life that produces it. So don't wait for a breakdown to build a fence. Build it now with honesty, with kindness, and with consistency. Make your no complete sentences. Make your yes intentional. That's self-respect in action. And when your peace starts compounding like interest, you'll know the truth. Boundaries weren't walls that kept love out. They were doors that let the right love in. Look, your peace is your paycheck for life. Don't spend it on drama. Don't cash it out for approval. And don't let people treat your calm like it's free. Put boundaries up, guard your time, rest when you need to, and keep the company that adds to your strength. You'll stumble, you'll feel guilty, but keep practicing the discipline of saying no and protecting your heart. Because when your peace is intact, everything else in your life works better. Now go live like your future depends on that quiet inside you, 'cause it does.